Okay, so welcome to the next bit of the review of the LNER buffet car. Now, we've just obviously had lunch ourselves, and on this car, and at roughly the same time, maybe 80 or 90 years ago, people would have been taking luncheon on this train. Now, let's put the coach to one side for a moment. I have this book here, British Steam Engines. Now, you may remember earlier I had an example of the Great Western Railways, an LNER menu on what would have been served. And I have it here. The Flying Scotsman, 1862 to 1962 luncheon, cost 12 shillings and sixpence, which was a lot of money. But if you look at some of the stuff that was served, you had tomato juice or oxtail soup, whiting Percy, I'm not sure what that is. I know whiting's a fish, but I'm not sure whether it's a certain way of cooked or whether the chef was just called Percy and he did that obnoxious thing of naming the dish after himself. And then obviously you have roast chicken, bread sauce, which is essentially just like pretty much soggy bread, garden peas, carrots, vichy, not sure what that is, roast and boiled potatoes, and then for dessert you had fruit flan or cheese, salad, biscuits and butter. And then you could have coffee for an extra shilling. And then it says cheese and biscuits, etc. may be served in addition to the sweets for an extra charge of 1 shilling and sixpence. So that, it says British Transport Catering Services, that is an example of what people would have eaten on the train, on the Flying Scotsman service, in this buffet car. It might not have been this exact buffet car, 24276, sorry, it's just glid down my face, but this is probably what you would expect the usual poshos in first class to have eaten. I mean, you wouldn't have someone in third class spending 12 shillings and sixpence on a meal on the train, because often people in second and third class brought their own food on the train and you were purely allowed to do that. But people in first class obviously would have shown off. I mean, I have another example of, obviously you have Southern Railways, what's that? It's a Southern Railways Channel Cross timetable. Now there is a postcard in here from the LNER, that's a seat label. So you would have that on a seat on the Southern Railways train. That's Great Western Railways insurance document. And here you have an example of the Flying Scotsman service crossing the Royal Border Bridge. Now you can see the length of that train. It's a Gresley A1 or A3 pulling. It's 2563. I'm not sure exactly, but I think it says 2563. I'm not sure which one that is. Might be William Whitelaw, or whatever the name of the engine was after William Whitelaw, because the name was transferred to an A4, and the A1 that was named William Whitelaw was renamed. There you have. Sorry. Why am I saying sorry to a coach? This is pretty much an example of what this was with this coach, what these people would have been eating. And there is actually writing on the back of this postcard as well. It says, in the tourists, living us now, posting this in Perth, Wheeze, have to change. Good journey up yesterday, Friday, and good night sleep in hotel. So we've begun quite fresh. Bit of trouble over passports, so must cross border tomorrow without fail. We've come over this bridge yesterday. Love, Enid and Duncan. And it was to Mr. and Mrs. Ward, 56 Cedar Drive, Parklands, Chichester, Sussex, England. So obviously these people must have enjoyed their trip on the LNER, and I don't blame them. Being an LNER fan myself, I'm not into that Southern Railways crap. Well, not crap, they did build some lovely engines. Apart from that Leander, the bully design, that wasn't very good. But yeah, so you have an example there of what this people would have eaten on this coach. And then again, like I said, you would have afternoon tea for obviously 1 shilling and sixpence, not the original 2 shillings and sixpence, I would have thought. It was quite expensive, as you can see. And I'm really running out of things to say, so what we're going to do, so evaluate the coach, I'd say 9 out of 10. My only fault on this coach is it is a little bit too expensive. I mean, Hornby's guide price for this is £54. You can buy a Bachmann pannier tank for that. But Hatton's do sell these £47. Although for that, I am expecting it to light up and for an actual 176 scale man to pop out from behind the bar and start serving other 176 scale people who are sitting at the tables. But obviously it doesn't do that. So Hornby, again, if you are watching this, try and make a way of making these coaches a little bit cheaper, but just keep the superb detail, because this coach is actually more detailed, I think, than Green Arrow by Batman. So there we go, 9 out of 10 for any LNER fan. A buy worth buying. And cut.